Let me let me introduce Rashmi sir first. Rashmi sir, can you hear me?
Let me introduce Rashmi sir first. Rashmi sir, can you hear me?
Sir, I muted his mic, I think.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
Rashmi sir, can you hear me?
Hello, Rashmi sir, can you hear me?
Hello. Is it audible?
Yeah, yeah,
Hello.
yeah. You are
Is it
audible.
audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Sir, can you hear me, sir?
Hello.
Sir, can you hear me, sir?
Rashmi sir, can you hear me?
Rashmi sir, can you hear me?
Madhuri ma'am,
Hello.
Yes, sir.
sir, you are audible, but Rashmi sir is not audible.
Rashmi sir is not audible.
See, we can, Divya sir, can you please text so that he can see? I'm trying to
Change
admit students.
Yeah, Rashmi sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, Rashmi sir, can you hear me?
Let 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 me call him.
Let me call him.
No, sir, it's okay, sir. I think he's getting ready.
Oh, yeah, he muted his mic.
Yeah, he muted his mic.
Okay, so then we
Yeah,
can
Rashmi
call him
sir.
maybe.
Yeah, Rashmi sir.
Sir, we are 82.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
This
I
class
can
is
also
over. But
announce, we can announce here that those, I mean, even if we announce those who want to join will not be here. So
do not leave, all of you.
Hello.
Rashmi
Hello.
sir,
Is it
can you hear
yes,
audible?
me?
sir. Yes, sir, you're audible.
Rashmi sir, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, Rashmi sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So shall we start now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let me introduce Mr. Rashmikant Das, which is the founder of Java Technocrat, and he has got more than 20 years of experience. He is also the founder and MD of Juvalin Technology. He has successfully conducted 30 plus industrial training sessions at MNCs like TCS, Infosys, Wipro, to name a few. He has mentored more than 1 lakh students and has authored around 6 books on Java and Python. His book is titled Core Java for Beginners, is widely read in more than 48 universities around the globe. So he has achieved so many certification like SCJP, like all these certifications. Now let's welcome Rashmikant sir. Sir, good afternoon, sir. Rashmikant sir.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
So you may start now, sir.
Yes.
Madhuri ma'am,
Thank you,
can you
sir.
start now?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Sir, please, sir. We're waiting to hear
Please.
you.
Okay. Sir, you may start now.
Yes, sir. So good afternoon, my respected professor and Madhvi ma'am.
Good afternoon.
It's my pleasure that I can share some of my experience in front of you and your students. Thank you, sir. So,
Okay.
good afternoon, student. Today it's just a conversations areas about spring. What actually spring is, because we can develop the
Sir, can I interrupt you little? Sir, we are able to see you little only. If you are not in the complete frame, if we can see you completely, it would make more
yeah,
impact.
yeah.
I think you just have to
Sir, please
put
adjust
your
your
laptop's view, sir, or the
laptop.
camera. Sir, and there are, Rashmi
Yeah,
sir,
now
there are
side,
about,
now it is,
yes sir, now it's good.
now it is
So we
okay.
have around 91 more than 90 participants here, and those who are still waiting, they'll be joining in the YouTube link.
Yes.
These are first year students, sir, basically, first semester
No,
students.
no. Ma'am, thanks. Okay. Now is it visible, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Uh, Actually, I know that Spring is a framework that is till the time is a hotcake in the market. Now, lots of questions arise in your mind because I'm not giving you the details information about Spring, Hibernate, all these things because when you place in a company at that moment, these topics are required. But as you are the newcomers, you first know about the fundamental concept. I try to explain the fundamentals first, then I enter into what actually Spring framework is and how easier a framework is. So if anybody asks you what is Java, you can tell that Java is a language. Java is till the time the best language in the market for doing all type of job like web applications, like any type of enterprise applications, like mobile application. Anywhere Java play one of the important part. But now a framework must be required to develop such type of application in a fastest way and it make the application more secure. So when we are thinking about a web application at that time, our web application must be secure because you are a student. You never accept websites if the website is not secure because your data must be easily hacked by anybody. So Java, people adapt Java because Java is a secure language in the industry. So obvious that is a number one choice for every web developer because security is more. But if I want, I can develop the secure application in a that is word in a easiest way, then I have the requirement of a framework. Simple word, framework is nothing else. It is a platform where we can develop the application. But I show you that is before I enter into a small application of Spring, I just give you some ideas about that is basic part. That is JSE, whatever you learn in your college. That is JSE, Java Standard Edition. That is the foundation. If your fundamental or foundation is not strong, then it is really difficult for you guys to understand the advanced concepts. So anyway, I just do one thing. I just want to show you what actually happens in case of that is core part. We make our foundation more strong by the help of word. That is this type of core application. Now, first I show you 3-4 applications of core. Then I show you what is Spring, why it is captures the market. What is DI? DI means word. I must give you the ideas. I know that you are the newcomers, and Madhing ma'am already told me that they are the newcomers. I got the indication that I never move in a that is word fastest way. I must want to show you in a systematic manner. Check. Before I enter into Spring, I just give you some ideas about word that is called as what is core part or what is the base part. Now check. You know that in case of C, what is the extension file of C is? That is .c. What is the extension of C++ is? That is CPP. Same way. Now Java extension is what? .java. There are some fundamental areas are there in case of word object-oriented concept. Now I just give you some ideas about object-oriented concept. Then I enter into the application. Now see, I just write a simple code and I want to show you what actually object, how the object is created. As a programmer, how can I create the object? In some books, it is specified that I can create an object of a class by calling the constructor. Through which keyword? New. That is the main requirement. Now here you see, I just write here, that is space.java. I just write my first code. See. Now what I did here, I write a application here that is public class. That is test. Test is a class. Now check. Now what is my next job? I want to create an object of a particular class. Now see, what I did here, I just write int data. You know that data is what type of variable? You already know, you have some ideas, about Java. When I write data, data is what type of variable? Instance variable. Listen, if I want that variable must be secure, what I did, I make it private. What is the meaning of private? If I make the variable is private, that never be invoked or that never be called outside the class. Are you getting my words? What I want, a private member never be invoked outside the class, but it is what type of variable? It is an instance variable. So instance variable means what? That is an object variable. Now object variable means what? You know that in normal concept, object hold what? Data. And you know that that object data is stored in an instance variable. Now variable means what? It is the temporary memory area where I can store the data. My variable name is data. Now you check here. I just write that is in two ways I can initialize the data. First way is what? I have a constructor. Yeah, you see, int data. Now check here. Here it is called as what type of constructor? That is the parameterized constructor I designed. Here you see, it has a parameter. The parameter name is also data. Now listen, this data, this parameter is what type of variable? This parameter is a local variable. Here you see, parameter is a local variable. Here you see. You know that inside the block, local variable having highest priority. If I write data is equal to data, then it is useless because my instance variable name and parameter name is same. As a programmer, I can differentiate it by this keyword. I just write this dot data is equal to data. Then I just write a small application. Then you understand what I can do. Here you see, I have a parameterized constructor, and this parameterized constructor I called means it create an object. And when I call this parameterized constructor, what happens? It initialize the instance variable. Now, what is my next job? I just write here, that is public int get data. Job, you see. I just want to extract the data. Now, return type of get data is word, that is int, so I return word, that is data. That is the end of this, that is word, this class. Now, I want to show you, it is a normal program. First, in which way I can initialize the instance variable I show you. Two ways I can do the job. It is the concept of object-oriented concept because that is the really required in case of word Spring. This concept is required. For that, I give you some ideas. This is the base part I just explained. So now you see what I did. I just write here, that is fine. Notepad, I just write x dot. Now what I did here, that is public, here you see. That is the class, what I pass, that is x. What I did here, that is public find static void main. What I pass here, that is string. We just enter into the main. You know that execution always starts from which block? Main. Because that is now in this case, X is the driver class. Why it is called as driver class? Because this class contains what? A main method. And you know that execution starts from which block? That is the main block. I just write here, that is the test one. Here you see. That is
Rashmi sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you have to share your screen, I think.
No, sir, it's visible.
You have not shared your
working.
screen.
Sir, it's working, sir. We are able to see.
Sir, it is there. It is there.
You want to share your screen?
Prabhat, sir, it's working. Sir has
It's
already
working.
shared
Okay.
it. Yes, sir, it's working.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, sir, you may continue.
Here what happens, I just write here. That is test one tt is equal to, I just write here, t is equal to new test. Now here you see what actually happens. I just show you. Here test one t, you know that t is a local reference. Fine. Try to understand what I want to explain. Java case reference hold what term? Is it hold the data or hold the variable? Sorry, is it hold the data or hold the address? It hold the address. Now when I write test one t is the reference and it is a local reference for me. So it occupies the memory from start. Listen, Java case local variable, local reference, they occupy the memory from start. And when I write new test one, fine, object is created. When the object is created, it will occupy the memory from which area? Heap area. Now, Java tells that object created means it must occupy the memory from heap area, and the size of the object depends on which variable? Instance. In Java, how many instance variables are available? Only in this class. Only one. What is that? Data. Now, Java tells, in the previous program, I already showed you, data is not initialized. So object creation time, it is initialized by default value. Because what is the default value of int is? Int default value is and you tell int occupy how much byte of memory? It must occupy 4 byte of memory. So this object occupy how much byte of memory? 4 byte. If the base address of this object is, take an example, 2022, if it is the address. Now that address JVM assigned to what? That is t. That is the point. When it is assigned to the point to this object. But here it generates error. Why it generates error? Because the constructor is what? Parameterized. I just pass here 105. Now when I call the parameterized constructor, at that time I write this dot data is dot data. Now it is what? 0 plus 105 is 105. I just write. Now what is my next job? Now my next job is word. My next job is word. That is job what happens. I just c dot or I write here system dot out dot println. That is the data value is. Job you see. That is the data value is. What I write that is t dot get data. If I call t dot data, it generates error. Why it generates error? Why it generates error? Because the get data is a method. Through the method I apply the data. But if I write t dot data, data is private. Now it is called as getter method, and by the help of the getter method, I just write here Java C x dot Java. Now I compile the code. You see what the problem is. It generates error. Why it generates error? Now you tell. Can anybody help? Now you see test one is a class. Now you check here. That is the test one dot Java. You see. Now here what happens? Sorry. That is the Java. You see. I did the mistake here. Test dot Java. This class name is test. Now you check, I did the mistake here. Now see, inside this, I just created the object of which class? Test class. Fine. I just compiled the code. Sorry, I compiled the code x dot Java. Then I write Java x. Check here. Value is 105. But my question is, here you see, if I just extract it, see, if I write x dot Java. I want to extract the data not by the getter method, but by the help of word. Directly I call data. It's an error. Why it's an error? Because data is what? Private. A private member never be invoked outside the class. Now check here. I just do one thing. Compile the code Java C. That is the find x dot Java. I compile it. Error. Data has private access in the test. So that's the problem. So when I want to invoke the member, I have to invoke it by word. I have to invoke it by the help of word, a method. Now here you see, I have to call it by get data. Now this is one way I can read the job. Now here you see, I just compile the code. Check here. I just write Java C x dot Java. I write. Then Java X. Because this is one type of code I just use here. Now another type of code I show you. That is, in this way I can extract the member outside the class. But there is another way is there. One is by the help of the constructor I can read the job. Another one is what? By the help of assessor method. Assessor method means setter and getter method. Listen, assessor methods are public and they are non-static. One is used to write the data, another one is used to read the data. I just write another type of code that is the same task they can read. I write here notepad, that is text.java. I write. Now I did the same job, that is public class. What I did, that is text. I did the same job. I write here private enter data. You know that. When the members are private, they never be invoked outside the class. I just write text having a constructor. Here you see, it has a constructor. And inside the constructor, what I write, I just write a system.out.println. Fine. What I pass, that is the object is fine constructed. Simple word. I write object is constructed. Now see, it is a non-parameterized constructor, and you know that a constructor is of two types. One is parameterized, another one is non-parameterized. Now in this case, what I did, the same thing I did here. I make the member of the class or state of the class or variable of the class as private. You know that when the variable is private, it never be invoked outside the class. That is the problem. But if it is not invoked outside the class, why I make it private? Because of encapsulation. You know, now object-oriented concept build around some features. One is inheritance, another one is polymorphism, encapsulation, etc. So it is called as encapsulation. I hide my data inside the class. What is my next job? I have to use the public void set data. Here I am not initialize the data within the constructor, but I use assessor method. What is assessor method? Assessor methods are pair of method. One is used to set the property, another one is used to get the properties. Here you see, I just write int data. I show you that how Spring is different from here. That is what this application. These are called as traditional application. Here programmer insert 105, 106, we insert, then the data is inserted. But in case of Spring, we insert the data to a XML file. That is called as Word. XML is a universal language that supports Java, that supports PHP, that supports .NET. So I just, whatever the data is entered, I can enter through the framework. I can did. That is called as a DI, dependency injection. I must give you some ideas because it is an advanced concept. Without giving you some basic knowledge, I can't show you this concept. As my topic is Spring Boot, I have to explain what is Spring Boot. But I first clarify how you develop this type of code. Now my instance variable name and parameter name is same. How can I differentiate it? By the help of word. I just write. By the help of this keyword, I did the job. This dot data is equal to data. I have the another pair method because you know that your shoes are pair of shoes. You can't use one method. You bound to use two methods. One is setter method, another one is getter method. Public int, that is get data. Dot you see. What I returned, that is data. Now you see. This is the normal concept that I did. Here I am not use the parameterized constructor to initialize the data. But here I use the setter method to initialize the data. And here I use the getter method to extract the data. Hello, are you getting my words? Hello, is it audible? Hello?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So what I did here, it's a normal program I write. There you go. In different way, I show you how you inject. But in core part, till the time whatever you learn, you inject it manually. At the calling time in the previous program, I write new text, I write 105. That means I'm manually inject the data. Now you see, what is my next job? I just write. I write here, that is notepad, that is y.java. I write another code. Here you see public class, that is y is the class. Here you see public static, that is void main. What I pass here, string here, we just enter into the main. Now see. Now what is my next job? I write here, that is fine. That is a text static is equal to. That is the fine. What I write new text. I create an object. That case I'm calling what parameterized constructor because I defined the parameterized constructor there. But here what happens? I'm calling which constructor? That is non-parameterized because there is a non-parameterized constructor I define. Now when I call the non-parameterized constructor, then it print word object is constructor. Then I have to write here 50.set data. I just pass here 110. I just set the data as 110. Because that is my requirement. I just want to explain that till the time whatever the program you designed manually. But if that concept is what? If you don't know this concept, then you are unable to develop what a Spring. And you know that Spring is a hotkey. And if you don't know this concept, then it is difficult to understand what a Spring. I explain. Now I write here system, that is system data out at println. I just write here, there is a data value. Yeah, you see. There is a data value is I just pass here, that is dt dot get data. Check here. Now it's a normal application. Either as a programmer, I inject the value manually by using word constructor, parameterized constructor, or I am injecting the value by the help of word that is setter method. Either I am using setter method to inject the data manually. Here I write 110. I manually set the data, and or I am using word parameterized constructor. But Spring tell no, don't do that. You manually not insert the data. The data is inserted in the XML file and it is managed by a container, IOC container. I know that you are the first year student. I don't want to give more pressure in your mind, but you are in a track. You are moving in a track. Whatever you learn, that is fine till the time you are learned from that part, because without learning this part, it is difficult to understand Spring. Now you see, what is my next job? What I do? I just write here Java C y.java. I compile. I just write Java y. Yeah, you see. Object is constructed, data value is 100. Now you guys, you are my student, my dear student, you please tell how I can inject the value. Am I inject the value in how many ways? 2 ways. In an object, I can inject the data in 2 ways, either by the parameterized constructor or by the setter method. Spring tells it is much more easier to inject the value. Spring tells that is it is not difficult. There you go. Take an example. What is DI? DI means what? I just use a term. You just be a non-technical student. You just listen my word. DI means word. Dependency injection. What is the meaning of that? Dependency injection. You just listen. You know that I am a student. When I am joined in a college called as ITER, at that moment, they must require my address proof. Now, address is a dependent object for a student. You know that student class is the main class, but for the student class, one object must be required. One class object must be required. What is that? Address class object. Without your address proof or without your permanent address, ITER never, that is word of, you are never joined in a college like ITER. You have an address proof. So address class object is a dependent object for a student. Now, I just tell you that I am an employee of a particular organization. When I am employee of a particular organization, I must have an address proof. Without address proof, no one can permit you to join in this company, because if you make some mistake, the company faces the problem. So this is the concept. Now here in address and employee, who is called as dependent object? Address. Because without address, employee can perform the role, can't perform the role. You must have the requirement of employee. I show you that how you can develop this type of application by the help of either constructor or by the help of word, that is setter or getter methods. Now I just use this concept by the help of constructor because time not permit me. I must show you that how you develop, because shortly I show you a simple constructor based program. I show you that it is manually designed, but Spring case, how easily we can develop this type of application. See, this concept is called as word. This technique is called as that is called as STS. That is Spring Tool Suite. It is a IDE where you can develop Spring application. Just like you designed the core Java by the help of word. NetBeans, same way, it is an IDE. Spring is a framework, application framework designed by Rod Johnson. Is a very popular framework in the industry till the time. Every person demanding that this product is the best product in the IT market. It is a very popular product in the IT because it is a good product in the, or it is that is what it is, a popular product used by Java. Now, how you design this application, I just show you. Now check. I just write here file. Now you see new. I want to develop a Maven based project. That is a Spring area. That is others. You please check. I know that it is an advanced concept, but you are the future developer. You see this type of code you have to write. Other. Now, when you enter into other, you have to choose Maven project. I have the requirement. Have you heard now Maven concept? Have you heard cloud Maven? You heard it? Hello? 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 How many students heard Maven cloud? How many guys? Yes. It is your future. You have to know. Maven project, I choose. Then I move to the next. Yeah, you see. Then I move towards next. Yeah, you see. There is a configuration choice is there. I just choose internal. And here it is quick start. Automatically it comes quick start. Don't worry about that factor. Then next. I write here org.iter is the organization through which I can develop the Maven project. I write. I just write here a DI1, dependency injection 1. Or I write 1.0, fine. That is Java's 1.0 model. I pass here. Now that is finished. I just finish it. Listen, for developing this type of application, you must have the requirement of word. You have the requirement of net connection, must. Now, what is my next job? I just move here. Now it is J2 AC 1.5. Now it is the what happens? It is not the adaptable version. Spring not supports it. Spring supports minimal requirement is 1.8. So you have to change the version. There is a XML file is there. From there you can change it. Form.xml. Now you enter that is enter here. Form.xml is already contains some codes, but I have to, that is word, add some functionalities within it. Check here. I enter. Here I have to write 2 lines only. Maven dot, that is compiler dot, that is source. Yeah, you see. I have to write 8 because I have the requirement of word JDK 1.8. That is the requirement. For that I write like this. Another requirement is Maven dot, that is a compiler dot, that is a target. Yeah, you see, I just write. Here also I pass, that is 1.8. Because this is the basic requirement for changing it the word J2AC 1.5 to JDK 1.8. It has the requirement. You have to write. Now after that, what is my next job? You have the requirement of a dependency, because for developing a core application, you add a dependency. Now leave it. You don't think about the dependencies word. When you are, that is word, when you entered 2nd year or 3rd year, you can easily understood this concept. Now I just copy a dependency that is already available with me. I just paste it over. Now Control S, I just save it. My job is over. Now after that, till the time it is word 1.5, I have to change it to word 1.8. How it is possible? Right click. There is a concept is there, Maven. Yeah, you see. I just move here, update project. Now I update. What I did, when I write OK, now you check. Is it 1.5 or changed to 1.8? Hello? Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
sir, it is changed to 1.8.
Okay. Because what happens here? If I am not change it to 1.8, your Java not supports. So that is what Spring application not supports your, that is Java programs. You have to change it. Getting? Now I move to the programming part. Shortly I covered now, that is the word as a programmer I inject the value. I manually inject the value. But if you see how easier this concept is, check here. Move to the SRC main Java. Here the programs are available. I just write. Now see, sorry, what I did here, that is here I write new, that is a class I have to design. I design my first class. What the class name is? Address. Because I am an employee, I must require some address proof. Without the address proof, I can't do the job. Now I just write finish. That is fine. Now I design my first class. First class name is address class. I have to design. Now you see, this is the address class. Same way, I just write private. That is string. I just write here. That is a city. What the city is. Then address, required word, city. Then state. Then that is word. Then country. You see. Then country. Is it over? So it has 3 instance variable. You know that I make it private. You know that. Shortly I covered when the members are private, that is encapsulated within the class. A private member never be invoked outside the class. I show you that you can inject in 2 ways, either by constructor or by setter method. I just write here, that is public find address. Would I pass here string city? That is the find. That is a string state. That is a string. That is country. Yeah, you see. I already covered. When the instance variable name and parameter name is same, I can differentiate it by, that is fine. This dot, that is a city is equal to, that is city. That is this dot, that is state is equal to, that is state. That is fine. This dot, that is country, is equal to, that is country. Over. Now my job is over. I just use that is another concept. At the rate override. Because Java is a pure object-oriented language. Java tells that in Java, when I define a class, that class must inherited from one class. What the class is? Object. So in Java, every class in Java implicitly inherited. Implicitly means automatically. Automatically inherited from one class. What the class is? Object. And override is an annotation that instruct the compiler that the method of the object class must be override, because overriding is only possible in case of inheritance in the child class. I just override the method public find string to string. I just write here. See, when I print the value of reference, at that moment this method implicitly called, automatically called. I just write here return. What the return is? What I return? First, what is the name of the city? City name is what? Plus. That is a city. Fine. Next one is state is. Yeah, you see. What the state is? Plus. That is state. Plus. What I write here? That is country. What the country is? Fine. Plus, that is a country. I just write. Is it over? Hello? 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 Are you getting? Hello? Is it audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is my main job? My main job is what? When I print the reference of the address class, this method must be implicitly called. And when this method is implicitly called, implicitly means automatically. When this method is called, it print the city name, state name, and country name. It print. Is it over? It is a normal class I design. This is the address class. And address class object is a dependent object for which class? That is employee class. Because I am an employee. Take an example, I am an employee of ITER. I must require address proof. I am the citizen of which country, which state, which city. They must know. Now, what is my next job? I just move here. I declare another class. What the class name is? New. That is, I designed another class. Here the class name is employee. I just write here. Employee is another class. Now check here. Same way I designed the class is employee. That is the private int, that is the empty ID. I have the requirement of employee ID. That is the private string, my name. I just pass here. Then private address, that is the address. I just pass here. Are you getting? Hello? There you go. Here address is a class. Shortly I designed. And this address is the reference of the address class. There you go. Address class object hold three things. One is what? State, country, city. It must hold. So fine. I have the employee class required three things. What is that? Employee ID, employee name, and address means what? You are belonging to which city, which state, and which country. Now I show you that how the injection is possible here. I just write here public, that is the employee job is here. What is my next job? That is a non-parameterized constructor. I have to make it parameterized. Int empty ID string, that is name, that is the address, that is the address. You see, my instance variable name and parameter name is same. How can I differentiate it? This dot empty ID is equal to empty ID. That is, this dot name is equal to name. That is, this dot address is equal to what I pass here. That is address. Over. Now, what is my next job? I just write here void display. Yeah, you see. They got display is a non-static method for employee class. What it print? When I call this method must be print. That is system.out.println. I just write here. That is fine. That is the EMP ID. What is the EMP ID? That is the EMP ID block. What is the name is fine. Take an example. What is the name is class name. Then I pass here. That is the address is. What is the address is? Fine. Class. That is address. Listen, address is a reference. This address is a reference. When I print the address, it must implicitly call the toString method. Wait for around another 5 minutes. I show you that how this program is executed. Over. Now here you see, before I write the main program, I have to create a XML file. What is the requirement? If I make some changes in the XML file, I don't have the requirement of recompilation. Very easier concept. Changes happened in the XML file, not affect in my program, not affect the structure of the program. That is called as a DIE, dependency injection. That is the advantage. I just write here, that is fine. Here you see, new, other. I have to create a XML file. Check here. Now what I did, I enter into XML file. I just give the name of the file is bin.xml. Any name you can pass. You can write my name, I can write Rashmi.xml. That is ITER.xml, Java Technocrat.xml. Whatever you can write, you can also write here. No problem. I give the name is bin.xml. Fine. Here you see. Now, what is your requirement? You have the requirement of DTD, this thing. You just, that is what, copy this DTD. It is available on net. You can directly, that is what, extract it from net. If it is not possible, you can also collect it from me. I can provide, there is no problem. Okay. After the session is over, I can share it to ma'am or sir, professor or ma'am. I can share it. You can also collect. Now here you see what is my next requirement. This is the XML file configuration I have to write, and this is the main part. And you see what I did here. I just write bin ID. It is the constructor. Bin ID is equal to what I pass here, address. I can pass here the name is address. And after that, what I write, class is equal to, you have to give the class name. From where you can collect the class name, you have to give the total path of the class. That is a problem. You move here, choose this address, and right click here. Here you see, copy qualified name. There is a concept is there. It's just to copy it. What is my next job? You just paste it here. Fine. Control. I just paste it. So there you go. You have to write like this. You have to specify the package name where the class is available. Otherwise, it is not recognized. So I show you that right click, copy the qualified name, and you do that. There you go. Inside the address class, there are 3 parameters are there in constructor. You have to write. That is the constructor. That is the hyphen ARG. You have to write. The constructor hyphen ARG value is equal to, you have to space. What is the, that is what is the area name or city name? Now city name is what? That is the Bhubaneswar. Yeah, you see. That is the fine. Yeah, you see. How you tell? ITER is available where? In Bhubaneswar. That is fine. That is the constructor. That is the hyphen ARG. You just write value is equal to. Your password, that is Odisha. It is available in Odisha. Then you just write that is a constructor hyphen ARG, that is the value is equal to, that is the India. It is available in India. Over. Hello. Hello. Is it over? I think these are the three parameters for the address class. I pressed it. Hello. Are you getting my words or not? Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. So
Yes,
you're audible.
sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
same way, I can pass the parameter for word. I can pass the parameter for employee class. Now, here you see that is for employee class. I write bean ID is equal to, I just write employee. Yeah, whatever the name you can pass, that is the ID name. That is employee. Now you pass the class name is equal to what I pass here, that is employee. Are you getting my words or not? Fine. That is the end of the thing. But you know that it has a constructor having three parameters. What are the three parameters are there? One is the constructor hyphen arg. That is the value is equal to what I pass. You tell what I pass here. 1 to 1.
Employee ID.
Employee ID I pass. Good. Then same way I just pass here constructor hyphen arg. That is the value is equal to what do you pass here? You enter the name. That is the ITER. That is police. Yeah, you just write ITER police. Or you can enter your name, whatever it is that I passed here. Then the last one is what? Last one is the reference of which class? Address class. When it is the reference of the address class, you have to write the constructor hyphen arg. Yeah, you just write. That is the fine. What do you write? Fine. Here I pass ref bin is equal to. I have to pass the reference name. What the reference name here is? You tell. Here the address, the ID is what? Address now. Whatever the address is, whatever the ID is, the same bin name you have to pass. Address. Over. Now you check that is the reference bin I have to pass. Is it over? Hello? Hello? Oh.
Sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now this is the concept of what they call. Only one thing you remember, whatever the bin name you specify here, that must be same as word ID. If I write here ID is add, then if I write here add, you have to pass your word. That is add. Don't write address. Hello, are you getting my words or not? Hello? Hello?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Only you look after that, nothing else. There you go. I show you that how powerful this concept is. That is, you are not acquainted with the term. When you understand this term, you think that it is much more easier than core. Because your base part, that is what we are taking lots of concentration. That is what professors are taking lots of concentration on the core part, because they know that if you understand the core part, you can easily understood other things. Now you see, what is my next job? I just write the main program. Here you see, what is my next job? App.java. Now this program is already, that is what you have to main method is available. This is the job of what the SPS already signed. But I have to write the code. That is the application. That is context. Yeah, you see. That is the application context. Yeah, you check. That is the fine. I just write here. Sorry. Application. Application context. That is the, yeah, you see. That is the fine. Check here. I just do one thing. See, what is my next job? I just write here. Sorry. You just do one thing. I just write application context. Just do one thing. Sorry. Here you see that is the fine. Now you see that is app.java. I just write here. That is the application. Sorry. That is I did here application. That is context here you just write offset application context control S. One minute. That is net is slow for that. It is not recognizing application. One minute. That is, I just moved here. This is the problem arise because of net problem at invalid argument. That is a find application context. Context is equal to new class path. One minute. One minute. And text is equal to new class path. That is new class path. New class path XML. One minute. You please wait only 1 minute. I'll just change it. This is the STS. Due to the problem of STS, this is problem arise. It is very simple. Automatically, the class names are visible. All these things are available. So you just wait. Only for a minute. You just wait.
So while this happens, can we ask the participants if anybody has any question? You can also ask now, or you can type the question.
Yeah. Hello.
Sir.
Hello. Is there any problem?
No, sir. It's fine. Any participant has any question, you can type in the chat box, or if you want, you can ask while sir is trying to run this.
The main problem is what? That is fine. What is the problem? problem arises in this line. Application context. Let me which source to cover. Source. 1 minute. Asla. That is class path. That is the class path application context. Or you can write here. That is resource. That is fine. So anyway, I just do one thing. You check here. That is this is the application I already designed. Okay, so no problem. Yes. Due to the problem of the resource application context set. Now you see, I just design same type of code here. Here you see. That is check here. Application context. Context is equal to. When I write the automatic application context, automatically what happens? These are visible. Then I just write here because I have the requirement of this here the package must be imported. Otherwise it generates word error. You have the requirement of 2 class file. That is the reason for that it is not available by default. For that my net fail. Now I just already designed one type of code, same type of code. Before I take your session, I already show it. There you go. I just write e.display. Take an example. I just design. Now come to what that is a bean.xml. Here I just write inside the bean.xml. I write here that is a city. Here you see whatever I designed, I just designed in this way. That is the Bhubaneswar. Here you see here I just write 1-to-1. Here is the here I write Java Technocrat. Here I write this. Anyway, I just do one thing. I just move to this part. Sorry, that is here you see. I just run it. Check here. This is the pro. I want to run it. That is what I did. Run as. That is what? It is the application. You have to run it where? Java application. Fine. Now, okay. Yeah, you see. Remind me later. What the name is? Java Technocrat. ID is what? 121. Address city is Bhubaneswar. Now state is Odisha. Country is India. I'll just show you one thing. That is in the XML file. bin.xml. I want to change on behalf of Java Technocrat. I write here. That is the ITER. That is. I just write here ITER dollars. That is over. You don't require a compilation and all these things. You only that is what that is run it. Only run it. Your
Hello. So we are, I think we lost your feed.
Yeah, Madhuri ma'am, what happened?
I think sir has some network issue.
Yeah, Rashmi sir.
Rashmi sir?
Hello, is it audible?
Yeah, audible.
Sir, here what happens, sorry sir. Here what happens, sir, I changed the name, that is the ITER college. On behalf of I writing your Java Technocrat, I write ITER college. I am not compile it directly, run it, how easily that is modified. On behalf of ID, here I write 121, I write here 111, only save it and just run it, nothing else. Compilation is not required. You check the result is changed. Are you getting? This is here what happens. I make some injection through universal XML file. Not by the help of manually I can design it. Now, whatever you learn, that is fine till the time. But in the industry, when you are working, you require a framework called a Spring. And listen, there is no replacement of a Spring framework. It's my advice. When you are working, you are the future developer. And you are also the student of a reputed college. You know that when you joined in a blue chip companies at that moment, they never worked in the foundation part. They always worked by using a framework called as Spring. So thank you for sharing some moments with you guys. It's my pleasure, sir, respected sir and ma'am. You gave me the permission.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So thank you, sir.
Yeah, Madhuri ma'am, conclude.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
So I
So
really
if
bottom
Yeah,
is
Madhuri
that
ma'am, please conclude.
every time and explaining us everything with so much of people and coding as well. Thank you so much for giving us to this what is changing. Thank you for your time. So I am also for joining and so patient. And
Okay, thank you, Rashmi sir. Hope you meet again.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Okay.
Thank you.
So if
Let's
you have any, please share. You just that is what share your information to ma'am or sir, and definitely.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, Madhuri ma'am.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.